Now this is the USS Excelsior. This is a ship from the Star Trek universe, and it's a beautiful creation that's now available on the Steam Workshop. The creators of this, and there's a number of them, have collaborated together, highlighting their skills within building in Space Engineers and crafted a lovely ship for both exterior and interior. They've also built some torpedoes that fire, so we're going to take a look around the ship, admire its beauty, and show you all of its features today. And we're going to start with its exterior. Now, the exterior of a Star Trek ship or a standard sort of design, we've got these engine cells to the rear, and then we've got the dome at the front. It's a very classic design, and there's lots of variations of this within the Star Trek world, but what I've seen a lot of players get wrong when building them is their dome to engine ratio, if that makes sense. They either make the dome too small and the engine's too big, but what they've done here is really nice. They've got the scale of the engines much smaller than the dome itself, so it feels in scale and in proportion. So let's actually start by having a look at the dome itself. Now, the dome right at the front, you can see that there is a little escape hatch, but it's not really an escape hatch, it's a little conveyor cover. And as that staggers up, we've got the camera located on there, and you can see there's this smooth transition between the blocks. Now, if we look really carefully here, you'll notice that there is some interior turrets tucked in here that could aid in a bit of anti-fighter or anti-hydrogen man defense, but that's something I want to talk about here as well, is that this ship is definitely not designed for survival. This is a ship that fits more within the realm or the lore of Star Trek, and if you're running Star Trek weapons mods, this would definitely be very effective. Up on the top there, we've got the Excelsior logo written on the top, with an addition of a few more escape hatches and some extra cameras. So this ship is still very functional in its state. It just needs some more weapons adding to it if you wanted to bring it into a vanilla sort of Space Engineers match. Now, working our way through the back there, we've got this glowing core that I'm suspiciously thinking possibly could be above the reactor room, and then there's some really nice detailing going on here with some flat panels to create a little bit of shadow and depth within this section. And as we come away from that, you'll notice that's been used across the whole of the upper back section here. So you can see these panels have been added, creating a bit of depth, a bit of tone and texture to them upper areas. And from a distance, it almost creates a 3D element to it. And I think that's really important. Now, you'll notice that these little blue windows as well across the deck. And this is something that they've done really cool to make the ship feel like there's lots of living quarters and windows between segments here, and you can see these windows kind of light up, create this sort of glow, and they give this sort of ambience of that there is rooms behind here where they can then build out whatever interior they want for the ship without having to take into consideration all these different rooms and trying to work out how to fit it into the design. Now, coming over here, you can see that I've got this lovely progressive curve that curves into the center of the dome here. A little bit of detailing going on the center there, and tucked right in this curve, we have got ourselves our torpedoes. So these torpedoes actually launch out from inside these tubes, and they can be welded up. I believe they can be printed as well. We'll have to test that out later, but they're quite straightforward. Let's have a look at the composition of the missile. So it looks like it's a warhead tipped missile. So just a simple explosive missile, nothing too complicated, and you don't really need it. So coming into the center, we have got that blue area. Now, you'd have to correct me, Star Trek people here. Is that where they would be firing the lasers? Oh, that sounds so cringy when I say the lasers. The torpedoes, they fire some sort of beam. I'm so sorry for messing up Star Trek for you. Explain to me what they fire from their ships in Star Trek. But yeah, they usually fire some sort of beam out from this lower section. Or sometimes it comes from the disc, depending on what ship they're using. I really need to do some more research on my Star Trek type of ships. So coming along this side, we have got ourselves a little bit of an airlock protected by an interior turret, and we'll dive into that in a moment. We've got more fake windows going on this side, and we've got the first of these engines, and these engines are really nice. Now, if you're thinking of building an engine bay, you're going to have to take some of these tips on board here. Look how they've created this glowing like effect by using that camouflage texture and slowly offsetting the colors of that orange. It just really looks nice, and it almost looks like it's glowing around the side here. Now, I believe this has been offset by some lighting perhaps behind here. There's got to be some lighting or something that's creating this glowing, so there must be an orange bulb behind there that's helping to create them panels glow. Now, coming along the side, let's get back over to the lit side so we can see things a little bit clearer. You see there's some staggering going on there with some letters being used for some added detail. We've got a number down the side, but just look at that engine bay, how it smoothly curves down to this rear section. And this is another great use of a combination of lighting and then progressively changing the color. So that's slowly changing the color over the time of that blue beam, just to create that really nice glowing effect down the side of the engine. And let's have a quick look up from above here. So you can see each of them cells are staggered off at sort of a diagonal angle, and then it kind of folds into this tip here at the end. There's just so much skill into building a ship like this that has so many curves and lines and creating the detail while doing so. Now as we're back underneath, at the back here we have access to this hangar door, and inside here we have a small hangar bay. Still quite capable though. This is a 5-ship hangar bay for 5 small fighters if you wanted to, complete with a little area to observe. So we'll pop out for one final time and we'll give it a little bit of an overview from the outside. But you can see there's a lot of detail going on to this ship. I nearly missed these as well. So on the back area here, you've got these little glowing engine pods to the side there. So really nice details going around the side. Let's dig into the interior because there's a lot more to explore. So we're going to start our interior tour by going back towards the hangar bay. Entering into the hangar bay, and we'll activate our character in here so everything loads and is quite smooth. We've got this lovely airlock with windows on either side. Now this ship really captures the interior of a Star Trek sort of ship where it's very clean. We've got access ladders going up either side, and through this additional airlock we have got access to a centralized staircase. Now if we follow this staircase up, and try not to miss any of the doors on the way up here, we have various little rooms that lead us to these parallel corridors. Now each one of these rooms is labeled, and they've got a full blueprint on the Steam Workshop, so you can go around the ship and find out which rooms are the quarters, which are the briefing rooms, where our armor is. But these corridors just really capture the essence of Star Trek. You could imagine a scene playing out in here. I don't know what exactly they've done. Maybe it's the ribbed texture that they've got going on the roof, or it's just like the wideness of the corridors. So coming over into this section, we have ourselves that reactor core. Look at that glow though. Isn't that fun? That is so cool. So as you can see, the glow is kind of pulsating up and down the shaft, and they've got this beam that connects into here. I'm not too familiar with how these ships are actually powered within Star Trek. Maybe you'll have to let me know in the comment section below. I think I'm going to have to get some Star Trek movies on after this, or a good series perhaps. You'll have to suggest some of them as well for me. I'm really intrigued by this stuff. It's just the amount of time it takes to watch it. Let's have a quick look at the blueprint that we've got going on here. So there's not a "you are here" sort of document here, but there's a lot going on inside this ship and this layout. Very cool indeed. What's going on in this? Another staircase leading up. So we've got the reactor, we've got the control panels, all of these custom sort of textures and overlays to show the readouts of that reactor. Oh, look at this as well. Everything, every single little screen has got a detailed layout done to it, just making it so much more immersive. So we'll continue working our way up through the ship, and it's with these interiors, it's always likely that I'm going to miss an area. So when you're exploring these for yourselves, I recommend checking out every single element. What's this? Oh, so this one is a "you are here." We're in stairwell. So let's continue working our way through. And some of these corridors are really long. They'd be good also for sort of Star Wars type battles here. Some stormtroopers blasting it out. Got a little mini crew quarters, is it, here to the side, with a full selection of beds and storage. Let's continue working our way on here. We're at the brig at this moment in time. Having them little diagrams on the side is really cool. So we're going to see like some small little rooms going on this side. I'm guessing this is going to be more bunks and rooms off in this section. Oh, this is a brig perhaps. These are like locked rooms over in this section. Let's continue working our way through. So this is the quarters section. So we're on the actual ring sick bay. So we're expecting some sort of medical. Oh, look at this. This is a cool medical facility. This is a really nice way. What have they done over here to create this lighting effect? So they've got custom LCDs on pretty much everything. Well, that's really fun med bay there. Let's dump back outside and continue working our way around the dome. So where are we? We're at the crew mess at this moment in time. So there's the crew mess over in this section. Always like a cafeteria part over on that side. What's going on over here? Oh, that's back into the med bay. And that's the crew mess sign again. And then as we come over to this side, over in this corridor, we've got the transporter. What's the Oh, so this is where they beam me up. This is where they get beamed up to, isn't it? Very cool. And there's a transport system sort of. Yeah, they've got a lot of rooms in here, and each room has a purpose that I think can be pretty hard to do when rebuilding a replica sort of ship of this kind. We've got some more quarters going on this side. We need to find our way to the bridge, and saying that, we have found it. So this is the bridge right here. Let's see what this leads up to, and what's this command and control center going to be like. So through the blast. Oh, wow. Look at this. The detail in this. This is a hybrid room. This is a small and large grid room. It's got a fake LCD screen out in the front. Well, so it's not LCD. They've used the damaged armor, but it looks like stars in the sort of window. And they've got each of the control seats. Look at these. I mean, these are just simple textures on here. But going into this much detail in Space Engineers is fantastic. Look at that. There's the seat. Let's have a look on this side. So that's going to be access to another way of the bridge. Each of these little command rooms. They've got these little back rooms. Where do these little back rooms go? Oh, like a miniature briefing room? Oh, that's so cool. Like, if I watched these series with these ships in, and this was accurate, I don't know if this is accurate, but that is cool having a little briefing room behind the bridge like that. That's what I'd expect to see. Lots of bridges, lots of helms. Let's have a look at this main seat here. I'm hoping that this is the one to drive the thing. So it seems to be so. So hopping in this seat, let's have a look at our acceleration. Really good acceleration. Let's have a look at a deacceleration. Really quick as well. So this has got a lot of hidden thrusters and stuff. Ah. Maybe I misread something about turning thruster damage on and off. Maybe I missed that. So let's have a quick look at all these other controls. So we've got the main shuttle bay hangar door. We've got shuttle bay hangar doors there. What's on this tab? We have got fire torpedo. Oh, let's try that. So that's fire number 3. Oh, there it goes. Oh, look at that. It's got a flashing beacon as well. And out it goes. Let's just check some other settings and we'll fire the other torpedo at a little target. So yeah, that torpedo's gone out and it's stopped. So these must be semi-active torpedoes, meaning that if there is a bad guy out there, they'll track and lock onto them. So let's check our side movement and our roll. So that's pretty good. Acceleration, I'm very chuffed with, in the deacceleration. Yeah, this ship handles really well for its size. I don't know how well it would actually do in a proper fight within Space Engineers, just due to its lack of, you know, turreted weapons. But this with a Star Trek weapons mod or phasers and shields would be excellent indeed. Let's pop out, set out a quick target and fire a missile at it. So we might not get a great test here, but I've set up a blue target wall and we're going to launch the other missile. So if we hit number 4, I'm expecting it to come out the bay. Beautiful. Now the AI system is probably going to activate and stop, but let's see if it does impact. Yeah, so it definitely requires the AI and an enemy target. Let's have a look. Okay, yeah, missile is activating. Okay, missile is activating and tracking, but it's got no rear thrust. Interesting. So that means, so if we just take this missile for a second, so all the thrust and momentum that this missile seems to be getting is from when it's kinetically launched. So if we go forward with it a little bit, yeah, so it's not got any rear thrust by the look of it. But once it does head towards its target, let's see what it can do to this blimp. Okay, very nice. So yeah, it can use its explosive payload. It's a very limited payload, but it's definitely a more of a roleplay type missile. Still doing a lot of damage to that small grid. So there we go. A beautiful Star Trek replica ship of the Excelsior. Now, if you want to check this out, there'll be a link down to it in the description of this video. Check it out, and make sure you thrash me on how bad my Star Trek knowledge is in the comment section below. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.